SchmutzCast 27.
27.
With our special guest host, Oakley Ray Timberlake.
Hey there, Oakley. How does it feel to be on the SchmutzCast?
The silence says it all. It says everything you need to know about her. She's just chilling. This is my new puppy. We've had her for about 2 weeks now, and she is the love of my life. And you can ask these boys. She is so fucking chill. She's about the chillest fucking little puppy. I mean, she's 13, almost 14 weeks old now.
She's a sweetheart.
She doesn't bark at you when you first come in. They met her for the first time today. Didn't bark. She loved on them the whole time. And now she's going to roam around. And there she goes. She's just laying down chilling. That's just how it be. So how have you boys been?
Been pretty great. Really can't complain. Been pretty great. We got a lot of cool things going on.
Does your life fucking suck, or are you doing all right?
I'm just very busy. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely tired a lot, too, because of this girl that's drinking John's water.
Where am I going to put it?
On the couch. It's in a cup. It's in a lidded cup. Lean it up against the back. Have you ever used a cup before?
Where else do I put
That
this
won't
fucking
fit.
thing outside
just put it
the
up there.
ground?
I'll put it up here. If you want some water, you can ask me, and I'll give you some water. No. Hey, get out of the trash, you little menace. I was just hyping you up about how good you are, and here you are sniffing shit.
The real side of Oakley.
The real side that the audience doesn't get to see now.
She's like, let me take these sliders and just...
Let me just slide all these sliders. She does not like my room, I've figured out. She hates this room. Absolutely despises it.
I mean, I can't blame her.
Well, she will fall asleep and chill in every other room, but the first time she came in here, pissed immediately. And then the second time she came in here, she looked at me for a little bit, played with her toy, then pissed in here. Like, in times that she should not be pissing. But she has separation anxiety so bad from me and Megan. Like, before you all got here, it takes like an hour for either one of us to get her calmed down about one of us leaving. She likes both of us here all the time. And we have to, like, calm her down. But she's a good pupper. Ain't you, babe? Ain't you, babe? That's what's been going on in my life. I have to wake up at 5:30 because she fucking barks all morning. And then I'm fucking tired. That's what I did yesterday. And then went and golfed. And then did landscaping. And didn't go to bed till midnight, so...
Well, we're on the subject of golf. Let's just talk about that round of golf.
Yesterday's round of golf was so much fun. I had a blast.
It was the most fun that I have ever had playing golf. I will say that.
For
it
sure.
Was so unhinged.
It's up there.
It
was, and we didn't play bad.
Well,
like, we didn't have a
we didn't play
care
good
in the world.
either.
We didn't play
We didn't
good,
play
but we didn't
good.
play bad.
it was.
For how the round went, I cannot believe we got the scores that we did.
Yeah.
Let's just say that there were probably about 5 or so close calls of someone getting hit with a ball.
I aimed for Jordan at least 3 times, and almost hit him 2 of those 3 times.
Well. Yeah.
Well, by the 17th hole, I was like, I'm not going to get the score I want. I'm not going to win Wolf. Me and Spencer were on the other side of the valley from you all, and I was like, let's try to hit him. And I don't know what it is with Spencer, but I guess he got real accurate when he went to go.
He got
and you
real
almost fucking
close.
ran into the ball.
I was trying to watch it in the air. Then once it reached peak, I lost it.
Well,
I didn't realize I was
started
running
running around
directly
like with
towards it.
Chicken with your head cut off. Like,
I was trying to leave the approximate area.
Spencer at one time, it was the hole right before that one, so it would have been 16, where he ran over my ball. That hole.
Yeah.
He I guess hit it off the toe or something, and you all lost it, and I saw it leave the ground from him, and it was coming right at our cart. So So I'm like ducking for cover. I'm about to be like, oh man, I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna catch this thing. And then I'm like, wait a minute, that's a terrible idea. So I jump back in the cart. The thing bounces and ricochets under the cart a couple times and bounces up.
Dude, fucking ball got stuck in the ground on 18. You all went ahead down the fairway, and me and Spencer stayed back on that valley that was being tilled that had all the dirt.
Mhm.
And we found a ball, and he was coming back to the cart, and he finds another ball that's sunk in the ground. So he looks like a fucking animal doing this, because he was pretty fucking drunk at this point, and just digs his hand under there and can't get it. So he keeps, like, scooping it out with his fingers, and digs and digs and digs and can't get it. Finally gets a hold of it, pulls the dirt up over top of it. There's 3 balls under the dirt touching each other, and they were all good balls. And then he said, damn, that hurt. And I was like, what happened? Cracked his whole fingernail all the way down trying to get that ball. It was just fucking bleeding.
What the hell? I don't know how the hell I didn't see his hand bleeding like that. I had no idea. I was wondering what you guys were doing whenever me and John went ahead and tried to go find our balls.
He took like 5 minutes to dig out that ball and then fucking broke his fingernail doing it.
Jesus.
And I don't know how many times we about died on that fucking golf cart. That was so bad. Because, Spencer's a pedal to the metal type even when he's sober, but when he's got too many beers in him.
Oh man, he's trying to take that thing. I am really surprised that going up to 17, you all did not take it down that hill.
Yeah. Well, that... He was gonna. He was gonna. And I begged him not to, because I was like, this thing will flip. He's like, no, we got plenty of weight in here. There ain't no weight to a golf cart. All the weight on this golf cart is us.
Yeah.
And it
Well,
just,
didn't your guys' cart like start leaking something or something like that?
No,
Or-
it started
or-
scraping,
grinding.
yeah. Something started
was
That's what it
scraping
was.
or grinding. Like, I was like, this man just fucking cooks it down all these hills. On that last hill, I hopped in before him. I was like, I'm driving. And then he's like, but I want to go fast. I said, I don't want to go fast. And he puts his foot over and slams the gas.
Plus, there's so many times where you guys rammed our cart. Rammed
Oh, he
the
drifts into
fuck-
every tee box.
Yeah, he kept drifting into the tee boxes.
It was just a...
Going up to 18, he drifted around that last corner,
Oh my
all the way
God.
around it.
That was the worst one. That was literally the worst one, because we did drift all the way around that corner, and I see this hill right here that falls down in the tee box. I'm like, I'm about to go into that. That's where we're gonna end up.
I don't understand how he was able to drift those golf carts because they were like really slow.
He locks the brakes up. Literally goes as fast as it'll go, goes down the hill, and it was a little bit of a decline, and just fucking locks the brakes up and spins the wheel, and it just fucking skirts all the way down.
Well, I've got that video of me doing the drifts on Chuck's golf cart.
Yeah, but it looked like his went a little faster than those did. Those were like really slow for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, his probably did go a little bit
I
faster.
don't know how he did it on pavement. Like, the pavement part is what fucking blows my mind. 'cause,
Well, there's no
like,
tread on those things.
exactly. Like, it's... Oh, my God.
Well,
what
we
a
get down to
fucking
T-Box
dangerous-
18,
Oh, Jesus.
and
T-Box 18, so much shit happened in a 10-minute period.
we were
I
on
think it
that
was
hole
longer
for
than
probably
that.
about an hour.
We were... I texted Megan that we were on 18 when we were pulling down to 18. We didn't get off the course until an hour after I sent that text.
We were on that hole for one whole hour.
I think we all took
2 or 3 Happy
two or
Gilmores.
3 Happy Gilmores and then normal shots. And then I had to take a couple normal shots because Spencer kept going every time I fucking go in my backswing.
One of them was me. One of them was me that did it.
Well, and he eventually just fucking sat down in the tee box and laid down spread eagle.
Spread out.
Spread eagle on the tee box. And then after that, Jordan puts his almost full beer down on the tee box to go pee in the woods. And he's turned away from us. And me, Spencer, and John try to chug as much of it as we can and put it back before he sees it.
The thing was almost gone by the time.
And I
It
don't
was
know
a tall
why.
boy. It was a tall boy.
I don't know why I expected Jordan to mention something about it. He's a soft-spoken man. I don't think he would have ever said anything. He would have been like, I was probably just fucking stupid and didn't know.
Oh no, I didn't think it was my beer.
Oh, that's what it was.
I went and got another one. 'Cause I was like, I thought I had one down here. I was like, I know I just opened it, so it can't be this one. This one's almost empty.
What did I say? I said, "What are you low on beer?" I said, "Oh, probably because all three of us drank a bunch of it."
Then he's like, I'm not finishing this, and dumps like the last like 2.5 ounces or whatever it was.
Oh, in one hole, I think it was 15 maybe. Fucking Spencer puts his beer down to hit on the tee box, and me and John go up with our drivers and thunderclap the beer with our drivers, and it just fucking spews.
And he comes back, and his beer is like half dumped out, can all crushed,
And he chugs it.
and he's like, what the hell? He's like, who did that? And
It was so much fun. I had a blast.
he drinks it, and he goes, kind of foamy. Goes,
After he spits it out.
yeah, he spit it
Kinda
out.
foamy.
Kind of foamy.
What a day that was.
It was a
I
day.
needed that. I needed that kind of day.
That was the best day of golf
Oh,
that I've
shit.
ever had.
Oh, look. Your mommy's here.
Looks like she doesn't
Oh,
care.
gosh. She's just unbothered. But anyway. What a day of golf.
That was, I was talking to Jordan on the way here. I was like, man, we really need to. It's like you see all these people that have like their golf channels, where
Mhm.
they go out and they're playing golf, and they're all really fucking good. We should be the ones who are just fucking around on the golf course
really
like that,
bad.
playing really bad, but not giving a shit.
Yeah, I'm down. There was one part where there was a guy feeding water into the lake or something, and there was two giant tractors in the middle of the fucking fairway, and they weren't moving for anybody, so we just had to hit around them. And I think I don't know, it was either Jordan or Spencer was close to hitting them when he was pulling off.
No, I think I fucked up my drive that time. I think I hit it way right, so I think it was Spencer that almost hit him.
Yeah, because he did his grandpa swing in there.
Yeah, Spencer, he swung out of his shoes on one of them and about fell over, and then he started doing his granddaddy swing where he barely swings it and it still goes fucking 170 yards straight as an arrow.
See, when he swings out of his feet, he goes about 240 yards straight and then 240 yards to the right.
Yeah.
Like
It whips so hard.
that thing is.
It is the craziest whip that I've ever seen.
He's
so
just a,
fucked up.
and so that hole the hole that he ran over my ball on, right?
Mhm.
So my ball's sitting there in the fairway, and we're looking around for it. Well, I see this ball that's plugged in the ground, and I knew it was Spencer that ran over it because I was just telling Jordan when we were up on the tee box or driving up to the ball. I was like, man, one time we were here. I was about to hit, and Spencer comes out of nowhere and just runs over my ball and plugs it right in the ground. And of course, he fucking did it right then.
Right then. And he turns around and you look at him and he goes,
And you almost drilled him.
oh my god. I almost hit him with a line drive ball off my fucking 4-iron.
I've got a video of his reaction still. Oh man, it was such a fun day. I bet the
What a fun day.
then there was when we were coming up to the clubhouse, where I was chasing the cart down
Oh
the
my
fairway.
god. He chased the cart down the fairway and then Spencer starts whipping it to the left and right trying to hit him.
And there's like at that point when we started, there wasn't anyone watching. There was no one around because I looked before I started chasing. And then of course, right when I started chasing, there's like 6 carts that are driving by. Like, and I'm like, okay, well now we look like idiots.
Well, we made a scene at pretty much every hole.
Yeah, we did. But it was worth it.
It was so much fun though.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Golf. It's golf season.
It's golfing season.
Golfing season means it's mowing season. You mowed yet?
I pay someone to mow. I don't have a lawnmower.
You know what? You mowed last year, didn't you? Have you ever mowed that long?
I used to when my grandma lived there because she had an old mower, but it is broken down.
So you pay somebody. How
Yep.
much you pay?
$60
A month, week?
week.
Yeesh.
It's worth it. I don't have time to fucking mow, so I mean it wouldn't be. You know, I do play lawn mowing simulator a lot though.
See, he
Plays
says he doesn't have
lawn
time,
mowing simulator. Doesn't have time to mow.
but he has
Plays
time
lawn
to
mowing
play a lawn mowing simulator game. Like, just let that sink in.
You are the epitome of a simpleton.
No, here's the thing. If I were to mow my own yard, the only lawnmower that I have at my disposal is one of those old riding mowers, and it takes about 3 hours to mow that yard because it's just slow as shit.
But on his lawn mowing simulator game, he's got a 0 turn.
I got a nice 0 turn on that bitch. It takes me a good 15 minutes to
Bill
mow
don't
a
let
yard
you
bigger
use
than
his?
mine. That is theirs.
That's what he uses to mow the lawn.
He doesn't. He pays Mike too.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm surprised Bill doesn't do his
Well,
own
they
thing.
used to, but he just got tired of working on that damn lawnmower because it would break down all the time, and it didn't run well, and the fucking blades were all bent up, and it just didn't. It wasn't worth the maintenance of it.
Sorry, screen goes off and we all freak out.
I
But
know
it's
I
good.
do. I know I freak out.
Well, ever since the Lost Sports special, because that's
That
what
I
happened.
Never got back.
Yeah, because it went dark and we left it, and then it ended up getting corrupted somehow.
Still, I think that's one of the best podcasts we've ever done. Ever.
It was
And we lost the whole fucking thing.
it was definitely like epitome.
I don't even
sports
think
talk.
it's an opinion piece. I really think if everybody saw that episode, they'd say, "Damn, that was the best one."
Well, it was like
it
what?
was so
It was right before. It was right after week 1 started for the NFL.
Week 1
or
of
something
football
like that.
season.
Yeah, we were going real
and
deep in all the teams and shit.
We were talking all football all the time, and it was so good.
Well, you know what? You can say it's the best one all you want, but you ain't got the video footage to prove it. Ain't got the proof.
I ain't got the proof.
So as far as I know, it's the worst one.
I ain't been watching a lick of baseball. What's going on with baseball?
I've just been excuse me. I've just been watching mostly like the Yankees recaps because a lot of the games I can't get.
There's a
until-
lot of fucking games, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking baseball.
and they're on
games
all
after
kinds of
games
different
after
channels
games,
too.
Yep. Now
So,
with
like-
streaming, like you can't find a specific game.
Yeah, I wish there was a way that you could like follow a specific team. Like say like I want to be able to watch all this team's games. Because if that was the case, I'd probably watch them a
Well,
lot. more.
MLB has a league pass. I'm pretty sure.
Do they?
Pretty sure.
That's just probably expensive though, isn't it?
What's probably the same as the rest is like $70 a month. That's what league pass is.
Well, I do know that there's a lot of people that are kind of going crazy with some of the new rules.
It sucks.
Max Scherzer got
Oh, yeah, he got tossed, didn't he?
yeah he got in trouble for sticky stuff. So which I don't like Max Scherzer anyway.
What's the new rules?
Well, I don't like him, but could they prove that it was pine tar or like?
What was
I
the
don't
new
know.
rules?
What if he's just a sticky boy? What if Matt Scherzer's
Well,
just a sticky boy?
They do say so you can use rosin and sweat. Rosin and sweat will give you a little bit of tack, but it's up to the umpire's discretion if they're using it too much and getting their hands too sticky. So it's really there's no black or white. It's too much gray area for those
Pitch
rules.
clock has to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I get their reasoning for it. Don't get me wrong. I get their reasoning for it.
Speed up the
Speed up
game.
the game.
But who gives a fuck? Nobody was asking to speed up the game.
No, none of the baseball fans.
No
are.
baseball fans were asking to speed up the game.
But the non-baseball the
They
people
probably
who,
are still not watching it, even though there's a pitch clock.
the non-baseball fans who like to watch sports and want to be able to watch baseball and enjoy it. That's who they were catering to, basically. That and with all like the new like you've seen all the new crazy like uniform colors and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Past what 3-4 years that they've been adding.
I think they're trying to go to a younger crowd.
they are, because I mean the younger crowd doesn't like watching baseball that much.
I still love watching baseball. It's just I can't lie to you. Other sports take priority over baseball for watching. Like the NBA playoffs are on right now. You won't catch me watching baseball when the playoffs are going on.
I only watch the only sport that I'll like consistently watch on TV is baseball, but that's me.
I pretty much I don't watch baseball consistently, but I watch football and basketball consistently, and specifically basketball. I've been watching a bunch of the playoffs. Me and Megan have been watching it pretty much every night. The playoffs are crazy this year, dude.
Yeah, I've been
They're
paying attention to it.
insane. Well, the Clippers, it makes me mad. They won the first game of the series against Phoenix, and they were looking good. Then Kawhi's out. Paul George was already out. So their only, like, heavy scoring star is Russell Westbrook. Bro puts up fucking 35 in Game 3 because he didn't have Kawhi or Paul George.
Yeah.
And he basically won the game for him in Game 1. And I'm like, everybody always slanders Russ. But that boy can put up numbers.
He can. I just think he's kind of annoying. You know.
I like him.
Antics wise.
I do like
but
him. Well, the Grizzlies, that's your team, isn't it? That's who you like to watch.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what all is going on between Dylan Brooks and LeBron.
So much.
I keep seeing stuff about it and I haven't been paying that close
Dylan
attention
Brooks
to it. But
seems like he needs to be humbled by old Bron. And I think he's gonna. I really do think LeBron is gonna handle his ass.
what happened? What happened?
Dylan Brooks has been saying in post-game interviews that Bron's too old, and he's like, I ain't fucking scared of him. Like, he's nothing to me. I'm better than him. And I'm like, okay, no, you're fucking not. You're just not. And, like, he's good. I can't lie. He's good. But his defense against Bron is, like, he talks this big game and then doesn't defend against Bron very well. But then after the post game, he's like, I locked that motherfucker down. Like, oh, yeah, he got fucking 32 points and you locked him down, huh? Like,
You see, let me take Braun one-on-one. Braun, I hope you watch this. I want to take you one-on-one.
I think he'd eat you.
1v1 me, bro.
He's
Lanesville
fucking
Park.
Bron at Lanesville Park, bro. If I saw LeBron James at the Lanesville Park, I would probably cease to exist in that moment. I'd just fucking disappear.
I'd lock him down. I'd lock his ass down.
I'd lock him down.
Just
Lock
the
him down.
entire town just fucking gathered around the half court of the park down there.
You know,
It's
I
just
was the,
John playing 1-on-1 against LeBron.
Fifth grade St. John's starting point guard. Just saying.
Just saying.
Starting point guard.
Speaking facts.
It's facts.
Those
Fifth grade
are-
I was
Those
a
the
starting
facts.
point guard at a private elementary school.
of 90 students, K through 8.
Whole lot to pick from.
Check my facts. It's real numbers.
Yeah, cream of the crop. Are only allowed to play basketball there.
I am just excited to see what happens in the playoffs because I want Memphis to lose. I'm sorry. Dylan Brooks made that happen.
That's okay.
Plus,
I really don't give a shit.
I really don't give a.
I'd like the Lakers to win round 1, but beyond that, I don't care. Just to humble Dylan Brooks.
How are the Timberwolves doing?
They already lost.
Oh.
Yeah, they got sweeped. No, they didn't get sweeped. No, it's 3-1. It's 3-1. Well,
Who were they up against? The Nuggets?
Nugs.
Yeah.
So who are all the teams that are in the NBA playoffs?
You've got Denver's playing. So you got Denver, Minnesota, Miami.
Chicago's in it, aren't they?
Yeah. Miami's playing the Bucks. LA's playing Memphis. Clippers are playing Phoenix. Shit. It is so hard to keep up in my brain who's
Well,
playing who.
especially
There's so many
since
fucking
there's 16 teams right now, isn't there?
teams. Mhm.
To 8 on each conference. I mean, like more than half the
16.
league is in the playoffs now.
Yeah. There's a lot of teams in the playoffs.
Mavs
But-
didn't make it, did they?
Mm-hmm.
The Mavs didn't. They didn't make it, did they?
No, I don't think so.
I didn't think so either.
So they have more than half the teams in the playoffs.
It's a really
See,
big playoff bracket.
Something like that. I feel like because then that's not as much incentive to win games against like good teams because if that's the case, then they can just beat the lower half of the entire league and still get into the playoffs. Then, so I feel like
Yeah,
the
but then they're
playoffs
gonna
should
get
still be.
stomped right away.
Yeah,
I
because
I don't know,
they're
I just
still
feel
seeding.
They're
I feel like
still
playoffs
seeds.
should be like 8 teams. I feel like 8 teams, or eight teams. Probably no more than that, honestly.
Yeah, but if you bring the number of teams total down really low, there's gonna be hella debate from everyone, and they're gonna get pissed at the league, saying, "Oh, well, their record was better. Well, this team beat better teams." Like, there's gonna be too much discrepancy. But I do think that there's a lot of teams in the playoffs. I think it is a lot, But
I kind of like the big playoff because I mean like it does kind of take away from the point of the regular season. But even if it was a smaller playoff, they have like 150 games or something like
Yeah.
that. Don't they? Like they have a shit ton of games.
there's a lot of games.
Yeah, and with basketball being so hot and cold, like in terms of like how good your team is, like number one teams still lose like I don't know what, like
Lot.
30, 40 games.
Yep.
Like they'll still lose a lot of games.
Because everybody's a pro in the league. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like the worst record playing the best record. There's still a good chance the worst record's going to win just because they're all pros. They're all good at the game.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially once you get to this point, like all teams have like at least one big star that carries the team almost, and
except if you're Phoenix and you have the whole fucking roster is fucking busted.
though then that doesn't
I
always
don't
work.
want them to win. I wanted Chris Paul to get a title, but bro, to stack your team that heavy to get it is just.
I liked him better before they had KD.
I enjoyed it. Before they
Yeah.
got KD, and then it was like. One thing I will say about KD though, I'm sorry, but that motherfucker, he can play ball. He's a really, really, really upper echelon good player. But
I just wish he'd stay at one team.
not even just that. Like
That's the
everybody
part I
puts
don't
so
like.
much stock into him. Every time he goes to a new team, they call it the super team.
Yeah.
And unless Phoenix wins this year, like the only time he's ever done it was with the Warriors.
Yep.
And then he went to Brooklyn, and he had Kyrie, James Harden, and Ben Simmons. And
They were not good.
they had a lot. They had LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah.
They had a
Aldridge.
whole fucking stacked squad.
They had Blake
and
Griffin.
still lost. They had Blake Griffin. Like, they had everybody that you would want in a team around KD, and they still fucking lost. They're all injury prone.
Very. Yeah.
I think the respect should be put on some of these players that have gone so long without major injuries. Like you look at, like, my favorite player, Paul George, injured all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard, injured all the fucking time. KD, injured all the fucking time. Like, LeBron has gone through so much of his career and had injuries, yes, but never, like, month-long injuries. I mean, maybe twice. But in a fucking 20-plus year career, like, I just don't see it.
Oh, on the subject, we forgot to mention the Knicks and the Cavs are playing too,
Yes.
which is a very interesting one to me, just because
Yes.
Donovan
Both very
Mitchell
good
just
teams.
turning that whole situation
Turns
around.
the whole franchise into fucking playable team. That's my Louisville boy right there.
Okay, so the Knicks are up 3-1 in that series. That's what this
Yep.
is.
Yeah, the Knicks are really fucking good. They've got R.J. Barrett,
So, yeah,
Julius
this is Julius
Randle,
Randle,
Jalen Brunson,
That's something else I was thinking.
D. Rose.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, I was thinking D Rose, but I didn't think that was right. For some reason, I thought he went somewhere else.
Jalen Brunson plays over him as he should. Jalen Brunson.
Well, Derrick Rose is more of a
He's a
veteran.
yeah.
uh,
He's more of a playmaking guard nowadays.
Yeah.
Not really a scorer. I mean, he will score, but like he's not putting up 30-point games anymore. He's more of a playmaker more than anything. I mean, he's a
guess-
squad general.
That's kind of what I was trying to think. Like the wording I was trying to think
He's
of.
a
Like
squad
he's more of
general
a
for
he's
sure.
more of a locker room guy at this point. Like just his presence is
Yeah.
more valuable than him actually playing.
Yeah, he's a really smart basketball player. I still wish I could see another universe where D Rose never got that first major injury
Yeah.
and would have just continued on the path he was on, because that path he was on was dirty, bro. Derrick Rose's first couple years in the league were fucked. He was like the best player bar none. Like nobody could stop him. And then he got that major injury, never was the same.
That's what happened to me after 5th grade ball.
John did tear his ACL.
Tore his ACL. I went up for a dunk and came down wrong.
While he was on his way down from the
Compound
dunk, another
fracture.
kid undercut him, and
Compound fracture in my shin.
he had a concussion too. And
John used to be, I think about this sometimes. John used to be one of the shortest motherfuckers I knew.
he still is.
I mean, I'm
I don't
still
think-
pretty short.
You're not that short. You're pretty average height for, you know, a little average white guy.
I mean, poor Keenan.
Yeah, we
Keenan's
have-
Keenan's even shorter than John.
Well, the thing is John was the shortest person in every class we ever had until like what, junior year, and then you sprouted, or was it like?
It was probably about junior year.
And then you
Actually,
were
it was
like,
probably junior into senior year, honestly, because even looking back at like the pictures from like baseball
Mhm.
junior year, like when I took the pictures with like the seniors, I was a lot shorter than them. But then the following year, I actually looked like I kind of fit in.
I looked like
You didn't
I
look like
fit in.
someone's little brother,
Exactly.
just being a manager.
Exactly.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna see if Megan wants.
Oakley. Oakley.
I was about to say something, but it had to do with that. Oh yeah, because it's funny because I don't know, because he's right, because you were always just the shortest kid, but now
Oh yeah.
like you look at the band. I really noticed it the other day because I was looking at one of our pictures, and Keenan's a little bit shorter than you, but like I think it makes it look funny because I'm tall, so then you guys are just like
Just makes you look.
I just the long goofy drummer guy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. I guess it was between junior and senior year. I never really did like measure like myself or anything like that. Hey, you dropped something.
You were saying.
I never really did like measure myself or anything like height wise. I never paid attention to it. I just
Did
always
you
knew
guys-
short.
Did you guys not have like something on the wall that your mom would like mark with a pencil or anything? So we had
never
it.
had that
We
as a
had it on
kid.
the door, the front door. Mom would take an envelope and.
I was the fourth kid, so my mom was just like, whatever.
Well, actually, I don't even know if mom did it for my brother and sister. I just remember I was really wanted to be tall because my brother was, Ryan was fairly older than me, so he was already pretty much grown by the time I was really paying attention to shit like that. So I was just always wanting to catch up to Ryan, basically.
I think the whole like being short through high school was probably one of the reasons why I didn't even just try to play basketball. I liked playing it. I don't know. I just never.
Oh, being 6 feet tall in high school was the main reason why I played basketball, which is why I quit.
See, I would have been like 5'6" on that team, like all through until senior year. I would have been like 5'9".
Well, if you look at Greg's not super tall. I think Greg's like 5'9". He played quite a bit. He was a really good guard. He was one of our good defenders.
The thing with like Greg through like baseball, and even looking at like our baseball team when I was a senior, there were multiple people that were shorter than me on that team, which was really surprising because I always felt like I was just a tiny dude. LT can attest to that. We had a number. Yeah, true.
I can attest.
Well,
to
that went without saying.
I've seen it.
Like, everyone knows that.
proof,
everyone knows
facts. I've seen it.
Everyone has.
Everyone's
Yeah,
seen it.
everyone's seen it. I think if you got a small dick, the way to mitigate that is just to show it to everybody, and
Own it.
then nobody gives a fuck.
I mean,
It worked. It worked.
case in point.
But what
No.
were you saying? What were you asking about?
We were talking about how I was always just a tiny dude up until like maybe senior year, and like even on our baseball team, there were multiple people that were just shorter than me on the team.
Yeah.
And it was kind of surprising. Like
Yeah, there
multiple
was-
starters too.
Yeah,
like-
there were some. We had some short people playing baseball for the longest time, and like even my height, like I'm not tall. I'm not. But I've been this same height since like fucking freshman year. Like I haven't grown any.
Is there really that much of an advantage to being tall and
No.
playing baseball outside of like pitching?
Pitching, yeah, but
Like, I get it for
Yeah.
pitching, kind of having that leverage, so you're
Yeah.
throwing down. But
I mean,
like,
you could argue
Center
maybe
field,
outfield.
yeah.
You could argue that, but I mean, you could also argue that you could get that taken.
Oh, she wants to stay in here.
you do. Yeah, you want to stay in here.
But you could argue that that could be made up with just athleticism in the outfield because
Come here, babe.
if you're able to move and track down a ball real fast in the outfield, then I wish you would have like squeezed your bladder so that she would have peed on Jordan's foot.
that would have been really
If she
cool.
could pee anywhere, I'd want her to pee on Jordan's foot for sure.
But I mean, like,
If she pees on me, I'm peeing on her.
You pee on her, I pee on you. We're just gonna have a string of pee everywhere.
wait a
This
minute, who
room-
can I pee on?
This room is gonna be covered in piss.
Who's gonna pee on me? Whose piss do I get?
I don't get to piss on anyone.
I want to I want to be in on this.
I feel left.
God.
Hey, Yogi. Gosh, she's such an adorable pup.
She's just loving on daddy.
She's so much smaller than I was expecting her to be.
Yeah, well, she's gonna get a little bigger. She's gonna get to like 40 pounds. But
Yeah, we
yeah,
were
height in baseball, I'd say outfield and pitching. But pitching even
First base.
it can help.
First base.
First base. Yeah, I
First
can see
base.
that. Having
Height
reach.
would really help out a
But I
lot.
think height is a disadvantage at like shortstop or second.
Definitely.
For batting too, I feel like it would be a disadvantage because then don't you got a bigger strike zone then?
I mean, you do, but it's. I mean, it's not. That's kind of a subjective thing too. Like, it's not gonna make much difference with the strike zone, to be honest. I mean, I got walked a lot, but I don't think that had anything to do with being
I
a small
sucked
zone.
the ever loving shit out of some batting. I was so bad at batting. After junior high, I was terrible at batting. I couldn't. I was not coordinated in the hitting. I think I got in my head when I started pitching. I got in my head about batting, like trying to read the pitch out of the hand instead of just trying to fucking hit the thing.
Instead of just picking it up,
Yeah,
just
picking
react.
it up and going at it. I would think about it too much. Hey, nope. No. Get off of that.
Yeah, that's one thing that I didn't really like. Really, something that never really sunk in with me until about like junior, senior year was just see the ball, hit the ball, just
Yep.
react instead
Yep.
of trying to guess where the ball is going,
Yeah.
guess what's coming. Because, I mean, you hear it going through Little League like, oh, fastball and react,
Yeah.
fastball and adjust, right?
Yep.
Sit fastball and adjust to off speed. But like
Yeah.
that never really sunk in until junior to
It
senior
never
year.
sunk in for me. I'd rather throw the ball than hit it. I loved pitching. We need to get out and throw, just
Do
to
some long toss,
do
man.
some long toss, man.
Jordan, you
Fuck.
want in?
Yeah.
Do you and Megan want to play in a softball league in Lanesville with us?
I would love to, but I just don't know. I don't know what we do with
Friday
her.
nights. You can
Friday
bring her.
nights. We can bring her. Where's
Yeah.
she gonna go?
There's Lana will be
dugout.
there. Lana can like hold the leash.
Well, plus it's a beer league too, so like we're just drinking beer the whole time.
Beer league, you said. You've piqued my interest.
Oh yeah, everyone just brings a shit ton of coolers, and there's people there watching and shit. Like my
It's-
neighbor, she puts it on. My neighbor with the horses.
Dude, how do you? Is it softball? Like as a pitcher, you're just doing that.
Yeah.
I wanna huck some zingers.
We see. We'll play the field. We'll let Ethan do the pitching because that's the boring part.
Yeah.
Let Ethan do the
I'm
pitching.
center field.
Jordan plays outfield.
You wanna do short and second, like we
Yeah,
did
to have
back in the day?
So here's the thing
Yeah.
with that. It's a co-ed league. So it has to be, if there's a male pitcher, it has to be a female catcher, male first baseman, female second baseman, male shortstop, female third base, male female male female.
I mean,
So we could-
I'm looking pretty good in the top area here. I might be able to pass.
We could just
For-
make you take your shirt off while you're there, and they're like, "Oh, tell her to put her shirt back on."
Yes.
You got to shave.
I'm a hairy woman. I'm a hairy woman.
Oh my god.
But we can. Megan will have to play definitely because we need more women on the team so that we can.
Yeah, you got a whole sausage fest team.
that was
And you
the
got to
issue
bat
last time we
male,
played.
female, and guys have to bat opposite-handed.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I cannot bet right. I can't bat right-handed anymore after playing in that league.
I can't. I'm not gonna be able to bat left-handed. That's gonna suck.
You've seen me bat
I'll
left-handed.
have to
You'll be
practice.
fine.
I'll have
Dude.
to practice.
They're one of the guys that's in the league. He went to Lanesville too. You know who he is. He would literally like bat like this, like since he had to. There it is. Since he had to bat left-handed, he would do it. He would swing like this.
Was it the guy that was a grade above us? Andrew?
Yeah.
Are we allowed to hum it to first base or the bases? Okay.
Oh, yeah. You can.
Oh yeah, like
I
it's,
want to hum it.
it's a competitive
Are we playing
league.
with a softball or a baseball?
Softball.
Which those will.
What's she doing?
She's attacking the cable.
No, probably because it moved.
But yeah, no, there was it was fun. You get some wild plays like that'll come like because I played shortstop for us the year that we played in it.
No, hey, get off of that. You little shit. You were doing so good.
She got bored.
Stay.
Let me go get her some toys.
But like you'll get some bad hops that come at you, and like I got like smoked off the face on one of them. Yeah.
There's so many times I would get just drunk enough whenever we'd be playing, where I would just be running as hard as I can in between those bases, and I'd be trying to stop on the base. And I almost tore my ACL like 3 times because they kept getting mad at me when I'd run through the third base bag and shit like that.
Oh yeah, you can't slide. Forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Man,
So
I wish you could slide though. That'd be awesome. Cause
it'd be nice, but I get it.
I get it. Yeah, I'd 100% be like doing some swim moves on people, reaching around and
I'd be diving head first every time.
100%. Yeah, LT. There's another rule to it. You cannot slide into bases.
For those listening, he said I wouldn't either. I'm fat.
I wouldn't anyway. I'm fat.
No, it's fun though.
It
It's
is
always-
fun.
It's always a
I
good
would
time.
I would be interested.
I mean, how many teams they had last time we played? Like maybe 6, 8.
Like 4 or 5 maybe. I think.
There's only 4 or 5. I was thinking there was more than that.
I didn't think there were that many. Because maybe we were like the 6th. Maybe that's what it was.
I was thinking we were like the 6th.
I guess that would make sense because they usually had like 3 or so games. Maybe there were more than I thought.
Yeah, there's always like 3 games a night.
Yeah.
So,
But it's Friday nights.
you mind if I change to a somber tone?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to talk about the whole Louisville thing. We haven't been able to talk about it because
Yeah.
we haven't had the podcast since.
Yeah.
Just
So-
for everybody that doesn't know us personally that watches the podcast, which I think there's still a few people trucking. We actually live in the area, so this one hit close to home. This one was
Definitely.
close. The guy that did we didn't bring up what it is. I guess people would
Yeah.
know, but there was a mass shooting in downtown Louisville. Was it total death count of 6 or 5?
It was like 5, I
I think
think.
5.
I think it was 5, and then there were like eight injured,
Mm.
or something like that.
that sounds right.
5 and 8 sounds
the
right.
guy that acted and did this was he went to school relatively close to us, and he graduated the same year as we did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of weird just to think about, like, that we're of the age that we're starting to be of the age where crazy motherfuckers are starting to do shit like that.
They emerge.
We were very like close in proximity to this guy, like
yeah,
our whole life.
yeah. Like we've probably been around him a couple times. I've met his dad multiple times.
I remember watching him play basketball
Yeah.
in high school. I remember that. Yeah.
His dad was the head coach. And
Yeah.
His dad was the head coach at that school for basketball. And I met him a couple times. He came to one of our baseball games at Floyd Central when we were coaching.
The dad or the kid?
The dad. I don't know if the kid was, but the dad came up to the fence and was talking to the umpires, and me and you said hi to him. You'd probably know him if you saw his face, but yeah, that's his dad.
I don't reckon I wouldn't know who he was by just seeing him, like, but if you told me who it was, then I'd probably remember where I saw him.
Remember that you saw him there, but I don't know. That morning was wild. To me, like, there was something off about that whole morning. It felt like in other people I've talked to, Megan thinks the same thing. Is like something was in the fucking air that just felt weird all morning.
I agree.
Like it
Yeah.
was
Definitely.
just such a weird. Before the shooting even fucking happened, or I heard anything about it, it was just a weird morning. Just everything felt weird.
Yeah.
And I had that feeling, and then Megan back into the house from going to work, and her car isn't shifting right. So she's going down the road, and it won't go out of first gear. So she said, "Can you try to drive it and see what's going on?" And I sure as shit could not get it out of first gear, and it would rev the RPMs real high. So I was like, "You should probably work from home today if you can." So she did, and fucking the thing is she goes into work right at she would have been walking into the building 1 block away from that if her car didn't fuck up that morning.
Jeez.
So like she would have been literally outside walking into her building when that went down. That's how the timing worked out.
My my sister works for like a doctor's office, and there's a doctor there that lives in that building that it happened. It's like apartments up above. He lives like 5 or 6 floors above or something like that in that building, and he has to walk down through that bank to get out of his building. He was running late for work that day, and the timing would have been where he was walking kind of through the bank when that stuff was going on too. So but he was luckily running late, and they heard the whole commotion, and they got like the alerts on their phones, like that there was the active shooter in the area.
Oh my
kind of
God.
like the Amber Alerts. So his wife she's already kind of like, she's just a nervous person in general. So he told her to get in the bedroom with the dogs, and he's kind of going to like arm himself to be able to defend himself. Well, he said he heard like all the SWAT team and the police going through and busting down the doors of all the apartments there to make sure there was no one else that was involved, that was there getting control of the situation.
Yeah.
And basically what do they call it when they detain, detaining everyone that they can until they can
Keep everybody in place.
yeah. So they busted into his apartment and like had him on the ground, and they like detained him. And he's like trying to say like, I live here. So they got everyone out of that building and like to a safe spot. And he said as he was walking through, like he saw like the dead bodies like on the ground.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Shit.
it didn't bother him as much because I mean he's a doctor, so he
Uh-huh.
sees stuff like that, but he doesn't see
How
that
gruesome.
exactly.
Yeah,
And-
it's such a gruesome thing.
But his wife is really taking it hard. Like they're
Yeah.
probably not gonna end up living there anymore. They're gonna.
I
would-
fucking wouldn't either.
I wouldn't either. Yeah,
No.
Jesus.
It was, and the crazy thing about that is like the guy was kind of like dropping hints apparently like on social media and
He
stuff.
was.
And
He
there was-
wrote. He apparently he's been playing in this. That's what I've heard, is that he's been playing in it for a couple weeks now.
What did anyone ever come out with what he got fired for?
He didn't get fired. That was a false rumor. I figured out that he didn't get fired. He's apparently still worked there, from what I heard.
Oh.
So Spencer, I don't know how true any like this information was on it, but
yeah, Spencer
was,
told me a couple things.
he was talking about how like they went in his room, they found like how he had been planning it for weeks on weeks,
Mhm.
and he was putting on his like social medias like they're gonna learn. The whole thing came down to like how he was telling the victims that they were gonna be the sacrifice for
Yeah,
humanity, for
humanity.
gun control and like shit like
yeah.
that.
The rumor has it, and none of this is like proven. This is not released. There's none of that. The rumor has it that on the videotape they could see that he went into the corporate office, got them all down on their knees, and lined them up, and said, "You're doing a service for humanity," saying that he was proving a point that the country needed to do something about gun control. How weird is that? Like, that's just like, and they're gonna have to check his brain because of all of his concussion issues.
Yeah.
It's said that he had a bunch of concussions.
I was very curious about that part of it. Like if
He
he
might
ended up
have
having
had
like
some
CTE
CTE,
issues
yeah.
and shit.
They said
Yeah.
that the family did donate like his brain, like for science to do research on that.
Yeah, fuck.
Like,
Good on them.
How would you? I can't imagine how you would feel if you were like that family.
Well, I was talking to them the other day, like Megan and my parents and such. Like, do they have a funeral for him? Like, and if they do, like,
It's gotta
Do
be
people-
closed.
it's got to be a closed thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Do people come to that funeral?
does anybody come to, or do they even invite people, or is it just his parents? Like,
Yeah, that's a really good question. I've never really thought.
you never
about
think
that.
about it, and I didn't think about it until it was so close to home. Like, Like Megan's family goes to church with his family.
Because, like, I mean, my first instinct would be, no, don't show up. Don't respect the dude. Like, you know, that's just my first instinct is, like,
Well, that's the thing. So you put yourself in their shoes. You think of, what if Richard did something like that? How are
Yeah.
you gonna feel? Like
exactly. And that's
it-
kind of
it's
what,
a weird thing to even think about. Like,
like,
how does that go about? Like, and when you like family gatherings and such are gonna be weird for the rest of their lives.
Oh yeah.
The rest of their lives are fucking ruined. Like that. How do you get past that? That's
know,
something
like,
you can't get past.
it's like a thing where I would almost wonder, like, do you still have, like, pictures of them, like, in the house and stuff? Like, when people would come that, like, kind of know you but don't quite know you, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
where they would recognize.
Well, his girlfriend lived with him. Like, what is she gonna do? Like, what does she do? Like, how does that feel as the girlfriend? Because if you think about it, and I want to preface this and say I do not blame her at all. None of this is her fault at all. But like, how would you feel as the girlfriend that like you're the front line? Like, you think about it like
People are
if
gonna
Megan
ask
has
her-
crazy thoughts or I have crazy thoughts, the first person that's gonna notice those things between us two is us two.
Mhm.
Like, so if I did something crazy or she did something crazy like that, like, it's not, I don't blame her, like, I don't blame his girlfriend, but like she might feel pretty bad that, why didn't I catch this? Like, she probably couldn't have fucking figured anything out, but she's gonna be in her head for a while, like, what, I could have done something, kind of thing.
I'm confused. I'm curious how he was handling the planning stuff where she didn't.
Apparently he had a journal.
Hmm.
Apparently that's the word. I did hear another thing that cameras caught this. That the front desk woman that got shot, he walked into the building and said, and he had the rifle obviously, and he said, "You need to get out of here. Something bad's gonna happen, or something really bad's gonna happen." She just got up, boom, ready to go out the door. As she's walking out the door, he pumped a couple in her back,
Gosh.
and that's just fucked. That's so fucked.
Gosh.
Like, that's why I think, like, he had to have something going on with him, because if it was really just his thoughts of, like, well, I need to prove something for gun control, he probably would have just done that one office like he did. But why the woman like that? I mean, she's got kids, and like,
Did she end up dying? Or
oh yeah, she died. Yeah, she died. Megan, her family actually is knows the cop that got shot, and right in the front door, they had to do a bunch of different fucking surgeries on him in his brain, like it hit him in the fucking head.
that cop apparently was married to Jody for a while. That singer, the singer girl that
Really?
we know. Yeah, they were married for a little less than a year.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, it's
Well, in all of this, like, when you see them happen in, like, other cities, you know, like the Uvalde shooting, it's terrible. The Nashville, like, all of the mosque, fucking Sandy Hook, all that, it's terrible, and it really gets you in your head. But it really puts it more into perspective when it's close to you. Like, when
yeah.
it's right by us.
It's literally like probably 10 minutes from here.
Not even
Maybe.
that.
Yeah.
Like, it's... And like, half of our family and friends work over there. They work in downtown. A lot
Yeah.
of family works in downtown. And like, you don't think it comes to you until it does. And now it really puts it in perspective. It can happen fucking anywhere. Anywhere. Like, you got to be prepared for that. But I can definitely make my opinion known on this, because I don't care if anybody gets mad. I think I really heavily believe we need to get rid of AR-15s. Every fucking time there's a shooting, it's an AR. Why a rifle with a 30-round mag? Nobody needs that. And yes, I know that people have a leisure, like their pastime is fun, like shooting guns and stuff. But I'm sorry, like, if I was an enthusiast of guns, I feel like I would be willing to give up my 30-round mag AR for, like, hopefully a dent in some of these shootings. Like, because you think if he walks in there with a pistol, a 9mm, some of those people, probably not the people he lined up, but like the chick in the front that he shot her in the back, if that would have been a pistol, she may have survived. Like, pistols just don't have near as much power as a high-powered rifle like that.
Yes, I agree with that to an extent. My whole worry with it is even if you do like take them away and stuff, if someone wants one bad enough, they are going to get one. That's
the truth, but
it's just the hardest. It's the hardest thing to.
Gun control is a really hard thing to deal with in the country, just because of that specific thing. It is available, but to me, Connor Sturgeon would not have gotten an AR if he couldn't have just gone to a store and gotten one. I don't think, because, and you think, and I hate to like stereotype it, a lot of the shooters are white people.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are like what you would see as just like normal people with some mental health issues, and like they have unchecked mental health issues. So them going and finding an illegal rifle is going to be a lot harder than if they could just go to a store and buy one. And that's where I'm at. I say we should have guns as people. Like, I think it's okay. I'm really okay with it. I just think having a 30-round mag rifle, there's no necessity for it for hunting, because I'm a huge supporter of hunting. I think it's a great.
You're not gonna
hobby.
shoot a deer with an
You don't need an AR to shoot a deer.
Yeah, you don't
And if
need
you're
one.
shooting it
You
more-
can, but you don't need it.
You can.
You
It
can,
is
yeah.
legal for some calibers, but if you have to shoot the deer more than twice, that meat is basically ruined.
Yeah.
So why do you need 30 rounds? You don't need 30 rounds. I think that would be a huge jump. And then if we banned ARs and this shit was still happening with other guns, then we figure something else out. But I think the easiest plan is just to make ARs not readily available in stores and just see what happens. Like, because we got to do something. Like, and there's a lot of politicians that'll say, "Oh, it's a slippery slope." Nobody knows what's anything. Like, it's taken them this long to go at ARs. Like, there's so many politicians going after AR-15s.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing that for the past fucking 10 years. It's taken them fucking 10 years. So a slippery slope would mean once they get rid of the ARs, they're going to get every other gun. Okay. Nobody's going to pass that. It has to pass. It's not where Joe Biden's just going to say, yeah, no more guns. It doesn't work like that. So I
no
truly
more
think
guns, only ice cream.
ice cream. I don't know. It's a weird situation. It puts a lot of things into perspective.
I do see where it is a slippery slope though, because then it'll be forcing the hands of a lot more people. Then I could see where it would be starting to force the hands of a lot more people.
Yeah,
It's just that
I get what you're going at.
yeah,
But-
it's tough to say because no one knows.
Well, in what we do know is what works for other countries in the world, and what's worked for other countries in the world is to get rid of a lot of guns. And there's none of these shootings things happen outside of America. These things just don't happen anywhere else other than the U.S. It just doesn't happen.
I think that getting rid of the guns a lot, yeah, that gets rid of a lot of that stuff, but it also brings on other bigger problems. Brings on a lot of other bigger problems that we probably don't really even need to get into at this point on the pod, but
Well, a lot of
It brings on a
politicians
lot
will
of-
say military takeover or government takeover.
it'll
That's what like a lot of conservative thought is that
it'll-
once everybody has to get rid of their guns, then the government's gonna take over and you can't do anything about it.
not even necessarily the government, but like a homeland like invasion. Like
Yeah.
because from what I've like read, obviously I don't know if this is like the truth or not. No one's gonna know if this is the truth until it happens. But like a lot of the reasons why there hasn't been many invasions is just because of how many guns there are in the United States per
Yeah,
individual.
I get your point.
Yeah.
I get your point for sure. I don't personally. I don't worry about an invasion, just because if a war pops off, the whole world is so far advanced. Boots on the ground is like that's the old way. There's not a lot of boots on the ground war anymore. I mean, over in Ukraine, it's happening a little bit, but like on a grand scale, I don't think we'll ever see a boots on the ground World War III type situation.
I don't think it'll start out as boots on the ground, but it'll get to that point eventually.
I don't think it needs to. I think if it evolves deeper, it's gonna be fucking nukes, and then we're all gonna die.
See, I don't think it would necessarily get to the whole nukes thing because that's mad. That's mutually assured destruction. But I think that's where, if they can kind of take over the whole like population by boots on the ground without completely wiping out the population, that would be kind of a huge step to.
So you're thinking like Red Dawn type shit.
Not
You ever seen Red Dawn?
I have not actually.
Red Dawn is where a country invades the U.S.
Yeah.
and boots on the ground and takes over the government.
I don't think like to that extent because I know like kind of the basic storyline of it.
Mm-hmm.
Richard actually called me talking about this last night.
Talking about Red Dawn?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He was like, "I'm gonna watch Red Dawn. You want to come over?" And I was like, "No."
Red Dawn's such a good movie. I
I've
would have
not
watched it with
seen it.
you, Richard.
But no, like I think that I don't know, it gives a lot of kind of security and peace of mind to households. Now, like
I get
there's
that.
a difference between that and carrying it around with you. Like obviously,
I just
there's
don't-
no reason to be carrying. No one's gonna be carrying around an AR like that.
So, the only situation that an AR would be useful is a homeland invasion.
that and just leisure activity.
So, I don't know. It's a tough thought. Just because I know, being where we're from, there's a lot of leisure gun shooters. Like
Oh, yeah.
that's a thing.
Yeah.
Which I can't lie to you. Shooting guns is fun.
Yeah, I like it.
It's fun.
I mean,
I can't
hell,
lie to
that's
you,
what
it's
we
fun.
do at our family gatherings.
It's fun.
We shoot clay pigeons. We shoot targets.
It's fun.
Yeah.
But do you ever use ARs?
I have, yeah. Yeah.
Shoot clays?
Not to shoot clays, but you shoot other stuff with them. Yeah.
Tannerite.
Maybe once or twice. Maybe a couple more times than that. I don't
But
know.
how much would it damper your leisure time if you could only have shotguns, pistols, and rifles, non-30 mag rifles?
I mean, it would be. It wouldn't make much difference to me personally, but to some of the people that I'm close to, it would.
So, and I'm not trying to be facetious here.
Yeah.
But what would those people rather have? Safety in mass, or be able to shoot targets whenever they want?
They would probably rather have safety at mass. Like, but I can't necessarily.
I think
speak
the
for them.
average person is gonna pick safety in mass.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But I think that I kind of go back to the argument that if someone who wants to do some damage, they're gonna get their hands on it.
Yeah,
They're gonna get their hands on it.
I just think it's gonna, and I just think it would happen less frequently. I don't think it would happen near as frequently. And with my example of Connor Sturgeon going to a store and buying it. What do you think? You've been quiet over here. What do you think? You don't have to give specific opinions, but like, what do you think of this whole situation?
I can't lie. I'm so tired. I was about to fall asleep.
I do have. I could see it.
I'm sorry.
I could see a situation now. Like, not that this is my complete argument to it, but I could see a situation where it would almost happen more because those things would become more available on places such as black markets, and more people that shouldn't have them would have access to get them.
But you're right. You're right. But can you access the black market? Do you have access to the black market?
That's I plead the fifth.
I plead the fifth. Most
Well-
people are not going to have access to the black market. That's
people
my
aren't.
that's my thought.
Most people aren't, but anyone can is the thing. It's a matter of how quickly they would get caught getting there. And if they act quick enough, then you're not going to be able to stop them. That's my biggest worry with that. Is it's going to be, if it's something that it's like okay, think about this. When you were a kid, if you were like, I want some of that candy,
Mhm.
okay, mom says, yeah, go ahead, have some of that candy. But if she said, no, you can't have any of that candy, that makes you want that candy even more, right? So people are going to try harder to get the stuff that they're not allowed to have.
Yeah, they can try harder.
It's like, that's
but that doesn't
kinda
mean
like,
they'll get it as easy.
Yeah, it almost deters. It's still a deterrent to it. Like if you can't buy the guns legally,
if you can't buy them legally,
Like,
that's
They
the thing,
might
is-
think differently. Like
if there's
Connor
more
Sturgeon.
hurdles,
Yeah.
that would deter more people.
Would he
than-
have jumped through the hurdles instead of just taking a pistol or a shotgun in there?
No, there will be people that will still do it.
And
but
there's
that
still,
doesn't-
there's
there-
plenty of people
that
are still
will
gonna do it.
that will deter some people.
I think the amount of ARs
But
per
I-
person would drop drastically if you could just stop buying them at stores. And I'm not even saying take away the ones that are out there.
Right.
Well, that
Just
statistic.
stop
Yeah.
selling them.
That statistic will also be kind of fucked up though, because that would also include people that just have it recreationally and they just like no malintentions with it. They
Well,
just,
yes, yeah.
Right.
But I'm
exactly.
saying AR per person in this country is probably, well, I know it is way higher than any other country. But just stop selling them and leave that number at what it is. The number of guns, a number of ARs circulated through the country, leave it at that number. Boom, done. Cut it off.
my whole like just my whole point of view with it all is that I just feel like if someone is going to want to do the damage, they're gonna find a way to do the damage that they want to, at whatever mass they want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, the guy could have gone through even further and just wiped out the entire building if he wanted to.
He could have.
He could have very much.
Yeah.
So
Could he have done that with a pistol?
the damage that he did do,
Yeah.
it's hard to say.
It's
It's
right. It is
tough
hard
to-
to
like,
say.
it's hard for me
a
to say
hard
because-
comparison. But I think of the woman that was at the front desk. If she would have got popped twice in the back by a pistol, her likelihood of survival is a lot higher than it was a fucking. I'm gonna assume it was a 5.56 round.
I have no clue. 'Cause,
Maybe
I
a
mean,
5.56. If it's a 5.56, it's gonna go straight through her organs.
I mean, it also could have been an AR with just 9mm.
If
rounds
it
in
was AR 9mm, that's a whole lot of fucking damage for an AR 9mm.
I didn't know what
I
the
don't.
damage
I don't know
was.
what
Yeah.
caliber it is.
I
don't-
have no
idea.
clue about any of the specifics of any of that stuff. So I have no comments that I can, no information that I can give
Well,
on
and
that
even
subject.
like, and getting into that, maybe the solution is ban certain types of cartridges.
Yeah.
Locally, like, but then you also have the guns that are a bolt action rifle that are doing no harm. Like, how many people do you see going through shooting up schools with a bolt action rifle? You don't.
No.
Doing it with shotgun, you don't. Doing it with pistol, not near as often as a rifle. But that AR is pretty stagnant on almost every major mass shooting. That's why I just think that it's the gun of choice if you're gonna try to take out as many people as possible.
Yeah, and I mean, they do have like stuff in place right now that's like the unnecessary evils, like for how many attachments on like certain guns you can
Yeah.
have. It's like you can't have large magazines over this amount, or you can have like 2 of the 7 like additions to this weapon. You can have 2 or something. It's something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the specific
Plus,
is
it
on
can't
it.
be automatic.
Right.
Automatic weapons are
Right.
So my question to both of you, say they go tighter on gun laws where it's harder to get the gun in a gun store. And this is a specific argument that I brought up to other people just to wonder their opinion. So a lot of it is like the background checks. The background checks aren't doing a good enough job. So how do they do that? One, for this situation specifically, if they were able to check his social medias, they could have had a red flag or two in the weeks prior to buying the gun. Not even just before he did the shooting. Weeks prior to buying the gun, he was still putting shit up like that. So, do you all think it would be an okay solution to, in background checks, be able to check somebody's social media if they're trying to buy a gun?
Yeah, I think so.
You think that?
I think that'd be a.
You don't think that's an invasion of privacy?
No, because it's public information anyway.
That's the way I see it.
Here's the thing, people. I don't know. I think there's be plenty of people that would have a really big problem with that, but personally, I don't see the problem with it. With, like you said, even if it is a private account, like.
You're wanting to buy the gun, that's the price you pay. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, like I don't know.
I
And
mean,
plus, if you're throwing shit out on social media, like.
That's like a similar scenario to, like, why do I need to pay this money? I don't need to pay this money. If your situation is that the background check requires that they look at your social media, then don't buy the gun if you don't want that to be done.
Well, plus, don't post weird shit on your social media if you don't want people to see it.
Yeah, it's
too.
like for like me personally, I mean I don't put anything out there other than like
I think-
music
yeah.
stuff.
I think-
like it's
I think we might be a little bit skewed with that just because we post shit that we want people to see. Like,
Yeah.
we want people to come to our pages.
But there's also a strange connection to some of these shooters being heavy on social media, like posting a lot. Maybe that being their solitude or like trying to get attention kind of thing. So a lot of these people are pretty active on social media prior to their shootings. So my thought is dig deep into social media. If we're not gonna ban a certain type of gun, at least make these background checks a lot heavier. And another thing, there's some states that do this, but more states need to do it. I think if you go buy a high-powered rifle, like an AR, if we're going to keep those in stores, you buy it 30 days prior to owning it. That may deter somebody that is on a fucking emotional rampage to maybe, wait and think it out. 30 days, they might not want to shoot anybody anymore.
So like,
Like,
you gotta just pay in advance and then
Yeah, you
get
go
it.
to the store, you pay the money, you have a 30-day wait period until you can go and pick it up and take it into your possession.
So then people, if they wanted to act emotionally about something,
They
that
would have to
give
wait.
time for it to, okay.
They would have to wait. Now, that's not going to deter everybody. That's not a surefire solution.
I was to say
at
that
all.
would be a very, very specific
Yes. But
deterrent.
if you think, like, so I work in a place that is very, it's centric on mental health. Like, it's a mental health therapist chain. And I've learned a lot through a lot of their trainings that they make you go through. And I truly do think people with mental disorders like that, they have, like, especially people that are schizophrenic or, like, have psychotic tendencies and shit like that, they are really heavy on a subject for, like, a day or two. And they're like, they got to do something about it. Well, if we give them that time to cool off a little bit, chill out, that doesn't mean it's going to stop them, but some people it will.
yeah. I agree with that definitely.
I think that if you give them that time to cool off, maybe fucking that, and yeah, that a lot of gun sporters will say, well, you're always going to have knives, but you can't mass kill people with a knife.
No.
It's just not a viable solution. Even a sword, you take a sword, it's still not a viable option for a
You
mass
carry
murder.
you carry a sword into a public place, you're already gonna get arrested anyway. Like, someone is calling the cops as soon as you walk in the fucking door. Like, there's a guy walking around with a fucking katana at Walmart right now. Everyone would leave and stay the fuck away from you. Like, it's
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Plus, that's not range too. Like, that's
There's
You
no
gotta be-
range
yeah.
to it.
You got to be right up on some of that.
And I think with pistols as well, pistols don't have that kind of velocity at range. That's why I think pistols should be okay, because For home defense, a pistol is perfect. Because if somebody comes into this house, no matter where they are at, if I shoot them with a pistol, they'll die. Or they're not going to be getting up.
Well, I mean, there's still the same argument with pistols too, though, because I'm sure like the majority of gun crimes have to do with
They are pistols.
Yeah.
Yes. But
it goes
in
to
mass.
it goes to the whole thing of being able to conceal it
Mhm.
easier. You know, it's like that's
That's a whole other thing, though.
that's a whole.
The hole that gets put in you is what I think of. The hole that is put in you and how many holes there are. A shotgun. If you got birdshot, you got tiny little beads going everywhere. You can still die,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you got a good chance of survival. Buckshot, totally different. But a buckshot
It's gonna blow.
is going to blow a big old hole, but barely, you're not going to have very much range at all on something like that.
You'll have more range than the average person would think with a slug, but
Yeah, a slug is going to go, but the further it goes, a slug dies in velocity faster than an average sized bullet. Just because it's heavier, it's big. It's a big ass fucking shot. So yeah, it's gonna put a big ass hole in anybody that's close to you. But you know, and it also goes to the situation of like, what building are they in? You know, you have a school shooter. If he's, you know, shooting through the halls, it doesn't really matter what he's using. If it's anything that's a two-handed weapon, it's gonna be deadly.
yeah.
But your average shotgun, you know more than me. Your average shotgun, how many shells does that hold?
Six and one in the chamber, or usually 20 gauges are 6. Is
And you
like kinda the
can get
average.
mags for your shotguns, but
You can,
only
but
certain
only, yeah.
types.
And like 12 gauges are usually 4 and 1 in the chamber.
So for a shotgun, you have less shots. A pistol, you have less damage. And the AR has this combination. It's not as powerful as a shotgun, but it has way better velocity and way more bullets than either a pistol or a shotgun. And that's my basis on it. I think the damage per second with an AR is higher than any other gun that you can get as a citizen. And that is why most shooters use it. Most mass shooters use it. But then you've got your argument as well of they'll get it if they want it, and that is true. But I think it could deter some people. The whole thing with this is deterrent, because in America we're never getting rid of guns.
No,
That's never gonna happen. It's
Yeah.
not possible.
And
Too
that's-
many guns per household at this point. America will fall before all citizens lose all their guns. It's just not gonna happen. It can't.
That's what I think the big slippery slope is. If you know, is because America will not get rid of them, but at the same time, they could if they really wanted to. They
Okay.
could.
Okay, so I have a relative that has a lot of guns.
Yes.
Does
a lot of
those,
guns.
those lights normally don't come on, right?
Which ones? Yeah, no, they don't come on.
Okay, I was just making sure.
No, they only come on if you're like super loud. I don't know why it's like that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I was kind of keeping an eye
It's
on
like
it, and I
gang
was like,
stays.
okay.
So
bad.
my family member has a lot of guns, and he's out there. He's out there. He not mentally, but like location. He's out there. Like he's deep in
Physical location.
He's out. He be out there. So, and he has a lot of land. So if the moment he hears that people are going door to door taking guns, he's gonna bury them bitches.
He's gonna hide them.
So
Gonna
even
put 'em in the
if
trees.
the government wanted to take guns, I don't think it's gonna be this giant revolt that people think of, like everybody just starts shooting cops that try to take their guns. That's not gonna happen. What's gonna happen is everybody's gonna start hiding their guns, and there's not enough police force in the U.S. to be able to go door to door.
I don't think
it's never gonna happen.
I don't think it would be necessarily.
They would have
force, it
to
would
go
be-
door to door, because I guarantee on my street right here, probably per person, I would bet there's one gun per person on this street.
I'd probably.
And
agree
that
with
doesn't mean that every house has a gun. That just means that for each person on this street, there is a gun on this street somewhere.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I feel like there's the whole like they would. I know I'm getting kind of conspiracy sounding when I say this, but
I'm all in. Go.
But I think that there's a degree where it actually is true that the government will know who does and who doesn't have guns and how many guns they have, just based on records and based on just these things here.
Yeah.
Based on the phones. Like
It's possible.
I think that if it were gonna get to the point where they were going to act on that, that's something that they would have their ducks in a row on, and they would know exactly where it is, and then that would just cause animosity between people, and that's where it could get to the whole.
I just
like,
don't think they have enough manpower. The
No,
government, I
the
don't think,
police force doesn't, but I think that there's other.
pull in the military is what you're
They would definitely have to pull in something besides police officers.
It would be
to do something like that.
It would be probably military would be getting involved in that.
I get that. That would mean that there would have to be a full-on, like, martial law situation where the military is in every town in the United States at once. Because if you do city by city, people are gonna put their guns where they're not gonna be found.
Do you think that's super far fetched to do though? I don't think it is. I don't think it's far fetched to do at all.
I think it's far-fetched in our lifetime right now because there is way more going on outside of this country right now. I think they're way more worried about other countries than they're worried about us. That's really why I think that gun control hasn't become like as huge in the country, is because we are on the verge of not being the biggest superpower in the world.
I mean, financially, we're not anymore.
Well, we're not financially, but
And-
military-wise, we still are. We still are military. 100%.
It's close.
I don't think it's close at all.
I think there's plenty of things that normal people don't know anything about.
That's
I
true.
You know.
That's true.
There is this country has done so much funding for its military, plus per
Yes.
capita person. Like, our military is the biggest in the world, and it has been for a while. It's going to stay that way for a while, but we are losing a lot economically to where we're going to be controlled by somebody else sooner than later. Like, the U.S. dollar is already going out of many countries. You all saw that, right?
Yeah, it's
Like,
not the world financial.
It's not the trade
currency
anymore.
Mm-mm.
So that's a problem for people that live here too, because the dollar is now worth way less than it was 40 years ago, and 40 years from now it's not going to be worth jack shit.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
You think what was the dollar worth when our parents were kids? They could get a couple Snickers bars for $1.
There was a whole store dedicated to it that had some cool stuff.
It's the dollar store,
The
right?
dollar store.
That's the dollar quarter store.
Now
Now it's just got like
you go into
junky
Walmart,
crap.
go to get you a Snickers. How much that costs you? Like $2.70.
$2, yeah.
Like $2, yeah.
That shit's crazy. That's just crazy.
You see, I buy Reese's. I don't buy
And
Snickers.
some of the real interesting things is like when you think of like 50, 60, 70 years ago, and then you look into like what homes were worth back then, and like I can't remember what my grandma said, but I think her house was like worth like $10,000 when they bought it, or something like that, something crazy like that.
Oh
And
yeah.
she just sold it for like 300 something K.
Well, like Katie and Chuck's house, when he bought his house, $60,000 house, and it came with some land too. And
that
now,
ain't nothing. The land itself is probably worth more than $60,000 now.
And I mean, now they've made an addition. That house is worth over $300,000
Yeah.
now.
Easily.
Easy.
Yeah. This house has already gained. Not even. They don't even know. We haven't even like added up with the addition stuff, like the remodeling stuff that we've done. But we bought it at. I can't remember. I think it was like 180 or something like that. It's already worth over 200,000, and we've only been in it for 6 months now.
Yeah.
And like that's not that's just the value of the housing market changing. Like the stock market is fucking acting crazy right now. I dipped out of all stocks. It's so volatile right now. I don't trust any of it. I dipped out of
yeah.
crypto. I dipped out of stocks. I'm out. I don't trust it. It's too volatile.
I only got like $80 in it.
That's not bad. I
Yeah.
mean, you should.
I think the best investment right now for money instead of in the stock market is if you have the extra money, get land. Get land.
land
somewhere.
never depreciates.
Land and property, like houses, rental properties.
Well, also a lot of people don't think about it, but I mean, maybe people do think about it, but land, there's only so much of it. There's only ever going to be so much of it. There's been the same amount of land as there's been for the past however long it was since the flood.
Well,
Right.
Pangea, you know,
Well,
there
yeah,
was more land in Pangea.
Well, that land just done split up.
Well, I mean, Africa's about to split in half, so I mean,
What?
have you not seen that?
What?
There's tectonic plates in Africa that are separating.
That's wild.
Apparently, it's been going on since like 2005.
We're about to have an 8th continent.
Look it up. It's like pretty much like the entire west coast of Africa is like starting to split from
Wait.
the continent.
Did you all see what Akon said about Africa?
No.
Akon said that he is trying to get every black person in America to move back to Africa, and they will become the most powerful country. Exact words. Think about it.
Most powerful country, huh?
Yeah. It's a
All of
fucking
Africa.
continent. And everybody was like, what country, though?
I wonder.
Let's see.
You know, I heard one time that Toto actually blessed the rains in Africa.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
No way, dude.
they blessed the rains.
Well,
down
this
in
is
Africa.
this is what the rains did to them.
Tectonic plates.
Yeah, like the I said western coast, but I
Africa
meant
is
eastern.
splitting in two.
There's like a Somalian fault line or
Holy
something.
shit! Okay,
Yeah.
okay, podcast, you're gonna see this.
I didn't believe Wyatt when he told me about this, but I was like,
You're
holy
gonna see
shit.
this.
I can hear Wyatt explain this. Did
Dude.
you hear about Africa's becoming two Africas now?
I think the way he worded it was, "Did you hear that Africa's cracking in half?" I think that's what he said. I was
Oh
like,
my
what the
God.
hell are you talking about? Yeah, see, it's the
Damn.
tectonic plates separating. And it makes me really curious if like this almost would have looked like whenever there was continental drift, like way
Yeah.
back when.
That's how it started, probably. So if that starts now, what, the fucking 1,000 years from now, it might be separated like fucking 10 feet.
If you look at pictures, you should be able to find one. They show like where exactly that fault
Well, it
line
looks like
rests,
it's about 10 feet now.
and then you could see like where it would separate if it continued. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Damn. So what is this? This is Somalia, right?
Yeah.
Somali, African plate. So Somalia is right on this edge. I don't know what the rest of the countries down along this handle are. But
I can't remember off the top of my head, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah. So
I'm not up on my African lore.
it could lore.
The lore of Africa. Oh, that's what it would look like if it was split right there.
I believe so. Yes. So it would just make. I don't even know. I don't know what we would do if that were to actually happen, or if it like the process got sped up somehow, where there actually ends up being like a new strait in between those countries and the rest of Africa. Like if that would end up if it would just be another piece of Africa, and it's just split there, and there's two other islands outside of Madagascar. But
That's probably how it would end up. But who knows? The fucking future from now, that might even not even be called Africa anymore. Like, it could be something fucking totally different.
might be called
Gonna be-
Akon.
Akon! Akon and Young
Gonna be called
Easy.
Africa.
Trying to take it
Acracia.
easy.
Paprika. The great continent of paprika.
Paprika.
That'd be a pretty sick name.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool. If you live
So,
in
that's the key to this episode. If that ever splits, we're going to the island. We're going to be Somalian pirates.
Oh my god.
You in?
All we do is
I've
just
already got the earrings for it.
all we
We
do.
call him John Beard.
We
John
have-
Beard the pirate.
we got
Where's me booty?
we just got a big ass speaker on the boat playing the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song the
You
entire
see me,
time.
just see me running.
It's just the three of us on this little ass boat running around like that in circles.
Somebody say One Piece.
Stilger's our first mate, and he's just
Stilger
dressed
just
up like
popped a
you.
chubby and he doesn't know why.
Yeah.
It's like his ears are ringing, but he just fucking pops a chub. Somebody said One Piece.
Yeah, he's got his hands like in that jar of like the cheese balls, and he's just like,
Oh, One Piece? Somebody said One Piece. I heard it. There it is. I heard it.
One Piece,
One Piece, One Piece. Well,
Mm.
that I think that's a good note to end on right there. So, thanks for hanging out. Episode 27. Thanks for coming by, even though you all were tired.
I'm sorry I kept yawning.
I don't care.
I'm gonna go home and take a fucking nap.
You probably should. I think that's what Megan and Oakley are doing right now. So.
we've got some cool stuff coming up, music wise.
Oh yeah. Pluggy shit.
We've got a private event that we're about to play at this really cool house
Yeah.
for this business launch party thing.
Yeah.
This next Sunday. So we won't be on the podcast this next Sunday unless there's other accommodations possibly made, which we haven't hashed out all the details for it yet, but we'll keep you updated on that. Now it's gonna be a fun time. If this says anything about this house, Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry were at this house not long ago.
I hope I get to meet them.
You think they'll still be
We'll bring some footage to you.
Yeah.
You'll get
We'll get
some
some-
footage for the podcast and your promo. You have a promo
Yeah,
that you we can patch it in right here if you'd like.
yeah. We'll show the promo video right now.
Right now. And I'll probably put it at the beginning too. Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck it.
But
It's,
yeah.
it's like 7 minutes long.
Yeah, 7 minutes. It just kind of shows us
a pretty
playing a
long
little
video.
bit and us.
Okay.
Tells a little bit about us. Then it gives our goofy side, especially Jordan's goofy nose.
It's pretty goofy.
It's pretty goofy.
Gorsh,
Yours,
Gorsh, Mick.
Yours, Jordan.
Well,
Very
yeah.
goofy.
Well, how do you say that in Hebrew?
Goofy.
Goofy moofy.
You got anything else? Anything?
No.
We good?
We got another show the following weekend.
Yeah, following weekend at Alibi if you're in the area. Derby Day.
Derb Day.
Derby Day that Saturday.
Sounds like fun.
Come out to Alibi and
Sounds like
get fucking rowdy with us. Let's keep up the good crowds at the shows. We love seeing it.
I'm gonna hide the puppy under my shirt and bring her in with me.
You should.
God.
That's what we're hoping that it's not a coincidence that every time we play at the Alibi it's a fat crowd.
Well, you've played there like 10 times now. It's always a fat crowd. I don't think that's a coincidence.
Well, the first time you say that though is we're gonna have a stink.
It's gonna be dead.
We can't.
That's what we're worried
Let's not
about.
jinx ourselves.
Flop on Derby Day.
Yeah.
All right. This has been 27. I'm Papa Schmutz. I'm Jan Ward.
I am Johnny. Will making fun of Jordan.
Oh, I'll see y'all next week. They won't. I will.